Emotions as messengers. One of the most transformative lessons I've learned is that emotions are messengers from the soul. They aren't here to torment us or derail us, they're here to guide us. But if we don't take the time to understand these messages, they can easily control our lives in ways we don't intend. For instance, fear is one of the most powerful emotions we experience. On the surface, fear can feel crippling, causing us to avoid challenges or take the safe route. But if we dig deeper, fear is often pointing to something important: an unhealed wound, a limiting belief, or a place where we need to grow. When I first began public speaking, fear would grip me every time I stood in front of a crowd. For years, I let that fear dictate my actions. But when I finally took the time to examine it, I realized that the fear wasn't there to stop me. It was asking me to face my own self-doubt, to heal the parts of me that didn't believe I was worthy of being heard. Fear, in that sense, became a guide, showing me where I needed to grow. The same can be said for other emotions. Anger might point to unmet needs, sadness to unexpressed grief, and joy to alignment with purpose. Navigating emotional triggers. In life, we often encounter situations or people that trigger us emotionally. These triggers can cause strong reactions: anger, frustration, anxiety, or sadness that seem to come out of nowhere. But the truth is, emotional triggers are like landmines planted by unresolved pain, trauma, or unmet needs. When something or someone steps on one of those landmines, the emotion explodes to the surface. For a long time, I wasn't aware of my emotional triggers. I would get into arguments or feel upset and not understand why I was reacting so strongly. It wasn't until I began exploring my own emotional landscape that I realized these triggers were revealing deeper parts of myself that needed healing. Take, for example, a time when I found myself constantly frustrated with a colleague. Every little thing they did seemed to annoy me. I couldn't understand why until I finally sat with the emotion and asked myself, what's really going on here? It turned out that my frustration wasn't really about my colleague, it was about feeling undervalued in my own work. Once I identified that deeper emotion, I was able to address the real issue and heal that part of myself. This is the power of navigating emotional triggers. When we take the time to explore what's beneath the surface, we uncover the unhealed parts of our souls that are calling out for attention. The power of emotional awareness. In my journey, I've learned that the key to mastering emotions is not suppression, but awareness. Emotional awareness means becoming mindful of what we are feeling and why, without judgment or resistance. When we become aware of our emotions, we gain the power to choose how we respond to them rather than being controlled by them. Keep going. You are being set free with this boom.